Hello everybody and welcome back to Plant Boy. My name is Cade and today we are going to be taking a look at 3 of some of my favorite houseplants to propagate. These are very easy houseplants to propagate and very accessible plants as well. Before we get into this, I want to thank you for watching the video and supporting me. Go ahead and click the subscribe button if you would like to see more content like this if you have not already. If you like this video in particular, please click the like button. I definitely appreciate all of the support. And another note as well, I do have propagation videos on each of the plants that I'm going to mention today. So if you want to see a more in-depth guide about how to propagate a plant, this is not going to be your video. I will have each of them pop up at the eye icon respectively, and they will all be linked in the description as well. So let's get into this. No specific order, snake plants. Snake plants, mother-in-law tongue, sansevieria, all the same plant. Very, very easy to propagate. However, you should know that it takes quite a bit of time. So this is a snake plant propagation that I have had for probably close to a year now, and you can see I'm just now kind of reaching a point where this is starting to get some good growth on it, and I can see some more growth around the base of this stem here. And eventually I do believe these cuttings are going to die off to allow energy to be absorbed by these leaves that are coming up here. So as I mentioned, propagation guide here. You can make multiple cuttings off of one leaf of a snake plant, as you can see. And the only downside with propagating a snake plant is that it takes quite a bit of time. If you are looking for something that is very fast to propagate, this is not going to be the video for you. However, this is a very easy plant to propagate. You are just going to, you can definitely stick these directly into soil, as I mentioned in my propagation video, but I am waiting for these to root in water, and then I will transfer them into a soil medium. So snake plants, really easy house plant to propagate and very fun to propagate as well. It's cool to take one plant and make more. So the next plant I will talk about is the Pothos family. So the epipremnums, or the Pothos, are very easy vining plants to propagate. I had this golden pothos back here first originally, just had 1, and now I think I have 6 because they're so easy to propagate. I would say you can go from having cuttings to a rooted plant and some new growth within a few months with the Pothos. I would say 3 to 4 months, especially throughout the growing season, and they should do pretty well. So this was, these are 4 cuttings that I put into soil, and they kind of took off, and you can see that they just, root and just start to grow like a normal plant as well. So Pothos, very easy to propagate as well. I just actually potted my Pothos cuttings that I did in my video, and they are establishing themselves in soil now. So if you want to see how to propagate the Pothos, very easy. You're just going to cut some of the stem and put it in some water until it roots. You can check out that video. I will have it linked below, as I mentioned. And this over here is some Marble Queen Pothos cuttings that I took, and they are developing some roots now. Let me pull one out and you can see. Marble Queen, just like the Golden Pothos, super easy to propagate. You can see quite a bit of root growth happening here within just a few weeks. And like I said, I will just go ahead and transfer these into a soil medium once they have about 2 inches of root growth. But you propagate really all vining plants in a very similar way because they all kind of grow in the same pattern where they have a stem, a node, and then the petiole, I think is what it's called, the shoot of where the actual foliage will grow from them. So you actually just want to isolate the node and place it into a medium in which it can start to grow, whether that be soil or water. The last plant that I believe is very, very easy to propagate, really great for beginners, are vining philodendron plants. So that is going to be like your heart-leafed philodendron or your Philodendron Brazil. There are a few different other philodendrons that vine as well. They're slipping my mind right now, but these are both very great plants to propagate. You are going to do so very similarly to how you would with an epipremnum. Like I said, it has that node that you want to isolate And we can see here, look at that root growth. That's awesome. It is about getting time for me to plant these propagations, so I will find some time here within the next few days. This one is not nearly as extensive, but you can see it. Within the next few days here, I will plant this guy up and I will have a new Philodendron Brazil, which is super great. Now this Hartley Philodendron actually has kind of an interesting story behind it. I had this really beautiful long Philodendron that I purchased for a very reasonable price, and I had it draping and hanging for quite some time, and then I decided that I wanted to stake it up on a pole. So I got like some twine and wrapped around a PVC pipe, and I transferred it into a larger soil, and then it just did not take. The roots, I think, were so shocked from being put into a new vessel, and it was not having it. It was so pissed. So I just kind of let it die, and I decided to take like, 30 cuttings off of it because it was such an extensive plant, and decided to take my lemons and make some lemonade. So I have this very, very full, very, very bushy Hartley Philodendron that is just kind of starting to push out some, hanging growth here, and this will just get larger and larger with time. So you can definitely use propagation as a means of kind of saving a plant that is precious to you. And if you are noticing that a plant is dying and you really think that it's on its last leg and you don't think that you are going to be able to rehab it, you can definitely just try to take some cuttings off of the plant, isolate those nodes, and then propagate it from there. So yeah, everyone, these are all very, very easy houseplants to propagate. You have your Sansevieria family, so your snake plant, and you have your epiprenums, your Pothos family, and you have your like vining philodendron family, so the heartleaf philodendron and the Philodendron Brazil. Very, very easy to propagate as well. So if you want some more house plants from the ones that you have now, you can even, start selling them. I actually have some spider plants that I sold to a local business who kind of specializes in house plants just from propagations that I made, and it's a nice way to just make a few quick extra bucks as well. So I will see you all in the next video. Like I said, check out those propagation guides and they will give you a more in-depth idea of how to propagate. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye everyone.